Welcome in everybody to another Raid Shadow Legends presentation. I am Sebastian Keynes, and today what I decided to do was to share my last platinum push to kind of give you an idea of how I approach it, and what hopefully give you a couple tips if you decide to do it sometime here in the near future given the current meta. So in the video here we're going to start out with the plat push being about, I would say, 13 minutes in, or 13 minutes before things actually do reset. So what I decided to do was kind of push up to the edge, but not enter plat. And I pretty much had reloaded the page, and so now I have a set amount of teams here that I was going to decide to go after. Now I decided to go after this one because it has edgy. But the problem was that there were two nukers in this team, so I decided not to use my Venus Cupidus team, and I knew that Mortal most likely was going to be in Stone Skin. The idea here was to bring in Raglan, who's in Stone Skin, and hopefully if it was a nuke hedgy I could revive Sify, and then we would then revive whoever needed to come up. Now, for this one I did a manual, so it was provoke hedgy, which is fine. I wasn't too concerned. I was more concerned about the nuke. So here is where I think it was reaction to save them. So there was the double nuke. Some kind of bug happened there, but it was what it was. Now here's where I made a mistake, and I should have revived Rhodos, and I clicked A2 instead. So in this case here, I knew that because of the Terminator by Leo that I was in trouble, and I was probably done for. So I was gonna let him do his slam. There was nothing for me to do, and so in reality here I should have just reset and then come back in. But I decided to go at it again and actually do what I wanted to do. It was early on, so the loss wasn't detrimental. I still had time to make up and try to get in. So, okay, so on this one, the reaction did not proc, so he will go down, and the strengthen here, I think, is what saved Hedgie. But then from here on, it was pretty much what I had in mind to do, and I know that I didn't have to touch Mordu. There, the Peril did not lock or did not proc, so Warlord was safe. So from here on, it's just waiting for Rhodos to do his thing, and waiting for the Terminator to fill up and on Mordus. Now I'm going to speed this up a little bit so the video does not drag on, so I'm going to put it at 1.5 speed. So this one was pretty fairly one. So here I'm going to pause it a little bit. On my previous pushes, what I had decided to do is pretty much my team was consisting of Sify and Rhodos. But one of the things that I've had noticed or I've been noticing is the extreme uses of Ultimate Death Knight. So what I did is I re-gear Solus for this particular push, and I brought him into these fights to see how fast he could clear him, and I had been practicing with him throughout the week, so I was noticing that there was a little bit of a speed up when it came between the two of them, between Rhodos and Solus. So where I didn't think that there was too much of damage mitigation going on, I just decided to bring in Solus and just try to get the fights in as quickly as possible. Typically during pushes now, if you can do your fights within a minute, that's considered to be good, whereas previously you wanted to get them done in 30 seconds. So I wasn't too concerned about the length of the fights unless they lasted more than a minute. So again here, if I knew if I was faster that I could take these teams, just use I was pretty. I think it was pretty much done with this, but did I decide to go after it? I did. So everybody's in Stone Skin here. I think I lose this one because the Ronda surprised me being in Stone Skin, and that was fine. The problem here is I didn't know if this Iffy was faster than my Armorer, so I decided not to bring my bomb team in, and I just decided to go to the next page. And that was an extremely quick fight. So on that one, that team there got bombed, and I don't think that was actually the defense that I had set up that got bombed, but I still switched it to the more unknowing Yuko team. I knew that with that team I was more susceptible to the Venus Cupidus comp, but from testing that I've done with the clan, it does take a little bit to bring it down, so I just decided to go with that one. So there goes again another Solus team. So this one again, I know there's damage mitigation going on, but I decided to just stick with what with Solus and see if he could carry during the plat push. So I think it's fully automated here. Unfortunately the block debuffs came in. But my hope was just to put Harima to sleep as much as possible, but she's going after the sheep, so that's no big deal to me. There we go. So now we have a little bit of control. She keeps putting her skills on cooldown. She's not going to be any danger to us. Fortunately, the Python here is not a high resist Python. We can be taken care of. But that one took a little bit longer than I wanted it to. So I think it's 4 minutes and 30 seconds left on this one. So at this point, it's all about picking good fights and winning them. You cannot lose. And that is one thing that you'll find, that there'll be very slow UDKs, and sometimes there are very slow Duchesses in Stone Skin. So I'm in plat right now. So here you see the Hedgie, and this time I do decide to bring my Venus Cupidus team. That sheep delayed me, which is kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. So here I change back to the Solus team. So the Canterfon here is getting protected very well by Necrit. So I know if I can take him out, this fight's over. So right now I'm just waiting for Solus's A3 to come back off cooldown, and now I'm waiting for the Swift Parry to go away. Extended the fight a little bit. Yeah, I'm looking at Uko teams here. So I know it's going to be Provoke or Stun Zukos, but I went with it. And this one was actually a lot faster than I thought it was going to be. So that was a very good victory. I think that this time I'm hearing, we're in voice chat on Discord with the clan, and I think I heard the 2-minute warning. So I'm trying to get a fight in quickly. So I see this Sifis Rotos team, and I decided to go get Rotos instead of Solus. Because if I'm gonna fight Rotos, I'd rather do it with Rotos than Solus. So here what I'm hoping, if in fact it was 2 minutes, which I don't think it was actually like 1:30, but I'm hoping that I finish this fight before then. So we're here at 50 seconds. So Sify goes down. Very tanky Duchess. Mostly because there's damage mitigation coming from Ursuga as well. and that was it. So and the reset here comes, and then I noticed that as I hit somebody with seconds left, that I got hit with seconds left, and in fact it was a Cupidus team. So right now I'm just waiting to see if the chest comes in. For some reason nowadays there's a little bit of the delay. Doesn't give you the chest right away, at least if the reset is done. I had a couple victories, which is good. That's always good to see on defense. And so still waiting for the chest to see if it refreshes. There's the little delay, and then I come back and there's the red button, so I go see, did I finish in plat? And then if I did, how high? It was the chest being collected, and for this week we got 132. Which you gotta say that switching to Solus, certainly it felt like I sped things up, and you know, going against UDKs, I didn't get delayed too much in terms of trying to bring him down with Rotos. And so before I close down, I terminate the video, I can share with you some of the builds that we used for this reset. So as you saw, Keimer was an integral part of that team. I have him in 2 perception sets, and really the goal here is for him to be fast, and if he can put people to sleep. So this is how I decided to build him for this one. 332 speed, 635 accuracy. I'm not too worried about sheep anymore. I'm gonna gamble if I have to, and I'll use them whenever, if I think it's steamable in a fight, especially if they're just 1 and 2 stars. It's not too complicated. Here, Warlord, I have him in 3 perception sets, 2 reaction pieces, and he's not too fast. He's only 288, but he has the accuracy necessary to hopefully put people's champs skills on cooldown. I did use my Cupidus for one fight. I figured I share that with you. It's very slow. It's slow Cupidus. He could be slower, but I got him a 7400 attack, 280 crit damage in a 6-piece stone skin here, and he was able to at least mitigate some of the damage from Leo, and unfortunately that Leo also died from the reflection. But the primary nuker here that I used for this reset was Solus. So I rebuilt him a little bit to speed him up. I did sacrifice some defense, but it's a standard Savage set, and I gave him one of the best defense chests that I have. And as you can see, the Ascension only rolled flat defense. I didn't see it as necessary to keep going with the Ascension. The glove, on the other hand, I did. Has speed, defense, and crit rate, and it actually, the Ascension hit crit damage, so that is the glove that I used for this reset. The stats were decent. They're not, high level plat, but 62, 47 defense, 261 critical damage, and like I said, for a nuker, he is fast at 220, especially a defensive one. If I would have seen a Taras only team, this is the nuker that I would probably brought in, because that's what I was thinking in my head to bring in, since decreasing his attack really does not have any bearing on his skills, based that the damage is based off defense. So that was pretty much what the plat push was like this past week. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section, and maybe if this is something that you like, that I could actually post more of this videos later on in the future. And if you actually want to see even earlier with me trying to get to the edge, I can also do that and try to, I mean, the video will become a little bit longer, but I can kind of show you how to get to that edge and just kind of stick around there and start pushing with 12 to 18 minutes left, depending on what the points inflation is doing in platinum. So with that, thank you very much for coming in and watching. I do appreciate it, and I will see you at another time.